Hey, it's David here again, and welcome to the day 4 of our 15 days of Python. I've had day 1, day 2, day 3, and this is day 4. And in day 4, we're going to be doing something quite different, and we'll be looking at data structures. What is data structure? And for the first data structure, we'll be looking at list. This is something you will come across each time you're working with Python. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that others can have access to this material and also learn Python just like you. Data structures. List. We'll be understanding and using lists. We'll be creating, accessing, modifying, adding, removing items from a list, and you see what you could do with lists and what can't you do with lists. We'll also be learning about slicing and comprehensions. Finally, just like we've been doing from the day 1, we'll be doing some examples, practical examples that will buttress some of the things I'm saying. We'll go to our environment, we'll do examples, and we'll do some exercises. Lists are this set of organized collections of items that are mutable. And what that means is that they can be changed after they have been created. Lists are defined by enclosing items in square brackets. So each time you're working with Python and you see close brackets, always know that that is a list. And the key unique thing about lists is that they are mutable. If you look at the example I have here, you have your fruits. And in the fruit, you have different fruits within the fruit variable. And just to explain, in case you're new to Python, totally new, you're a novice. When you see a variable, anything could be the variable. It's not compulsory, it must be fruit. I can put dog here as the name of the variable and still have this fruit here. So you just take that off the way. Fruits, you have apple, you have banana, you have cherry. And for each of these fruits, you can print them out and you can print the values of a list. The list is enclosed by the square bracket. You can access the items of a list starting from 0 because list can be called by an index. And the indexing starts from a 0 until the maximum. You can access those items. For instance, you have your fruit. You have 3 items in the fruit: apple, banana, and cherry. You can access the first item, which is 0, which is apple. And if you ask for it to be printed, use the function print. It's going to bring out an output of apple. You use 1, it's going to bring out an output of banana, and you go to the last item on the list. Now, when you have a negative of an index, you have -1. -1 is you trying to take it from the end instead of from the first. In other words, if I say a -1 is going to be this. -2 is going to be this. So if I have 100 items, if I use -1, it's going to go to the 100th item. If I do a -2, it's going to go to the 99th item, and it goes from the back forward. But if you don't use the negative, you say 0, 1, 2, 3, you use the positives, it goes from the first to the last. And that is how you can work using all of this index to call the different items from a list. Also, the key thing about a list is that lists could be modified because they are mutable. You could change the items of a list. You have the fruit, you could call the first item and say you want to change the item of the first one to blueberry. So instead of banana becomes blueberry. You have altered the state of your list. That is one unique thing about a list. They are mutable. You can also add items to a list, and there are 3 main ways you can add items to a list. You could use the append to add an item to a list. The append just add to the last item. It just goes to the last item and add to that last item within the list. And the insert can be used to add to a specific location of the index to the list. And the extend is like you taking an item from one list or items from one list to another list, or any iterable from one place to another. So you could use the append just at the end of the list. You could use the insert, or you could use the extend. I have an example here just to explain this. You have the fruit.append. You could now add oranges to the end of the list, and when you try to get your output, you try to print, you're going to have apple, blueberry, cherry, and orange, which you've added a new one to the list. You can also use inserts to say, I want to insert into a particular index. Insert at index 1, and fruit, you're going to have banana added after apple. So you're going to have apple, banana, blueberry, cherry, as the case may be. So when you add that, it's going to be having the apple, banana, blueberry, cherry, and the orange. You could add at a particular index. But when it comes to extend, let's say we have more fruits. We have another list called more fruit. And within that list called more fruit, we have 2 items within the list, and we want to extend that, so we could just say fruit, which is the first list, dot extend more fruits, which is the second list we want to add to it. It adds multiple items to the list, and the list goes on, and it just goes to the end of the list and add new items to the end of the list. And this is how you could do that. The same way you can add items to a list, you can also remove items from a list. 3 ways again you could do this that I listed here. You could use the remove function, you could use the pop, you could also use the delete. So the remove would remove the first occurrence of the specified item. So if the specified item occurs like 5 times, it's going to remove the first occurrence of it. If you're using the pop is going to remove the item at the specified index and returns it. But however, when you're not using the delete, you could remove at a specified index, or it could take out everything. Those are the examples I have here. You have your fruit that remove, and I want to remove blueberry. If I remove blueberry, it removes the first occurrence of blueberry. Popped fruit, if I use the pop and say I want to remove at index 2, the index 2 is cherry, and cherry is going to go away. Output, cherry is being removed. If I use the delete the item at index 0, it deletes the item, the apple, or I could just do the delete and it deletes everything. So here I'm using the delete fruit. So here I'm going to apply the delete. I just say delete fruit index 0, and it removes it from the particular index that I wanted to go at from. Now we go to slicing. Slicing helps you to get a subset of your list. You don't want to get the entire thing, and don't want to start specifying items you want to get. You could slice and to say I want to get from this index to that index, and it takes from the first index to the very last index. It includes the first, but it doesn't include the last index. So you have the first and the last index. The first index, the index to start, and the last index is the index to stop, and you could slice and get the subset of the particular list. I have my fruit as a list. I could take a subset of that and want to return from the first index to the third index, and it goes to get me the orange to kiwi from what I have. And remember, the same way I could have the -3 to the -1. So you could do this slicing either on the positive end or the negative part. You could slice your particular list that you have. One thing you should know when you're working with slices is that the start index is included while the stop index is excluded. I'm going to explain. When you say you want to take the index 1 to index 3, it includes the item in index 1, but it does not include the item in index 3. What is going to be returned is just the items in index 1 and index 2. Similarly, when you are using the negative part, it's going to return the -3, but won't return the -1. So you're only going to have 2 items returned. And so when you want to slice, you just have that at the back of your mind. If you're slicing from 2 to 4, you're only going to have 2 and 3. The 4 would not be included, and that is where the start and stop works when working with the slicing. The list comprehensions, it helps you with a very concise way of creating lists. You could use iterables, or you could just use like ranges to be able to provide lists in a more concise way. Along the way, we are going to be dealing more around the iterations and the for loops, the different kind of loop, the while loop. We're going to do all of that. But this here is just basic to say x is x raised to power 2. But how do you get x? We're going to say for x in the range of 10. What this means is x, the value of x, is found within the range of 0 to 10. And just like we said previously, 10 is not included, so technically between the range of 0 to 9. And for the squares, it's going to be 0. 0 raised to power 2 is 0. 1 raised to power 2 is 1. 2 raised to power 2 is 4, 3 raised to power 2 is 9, 4 raised to power 2 is 16, and it goes on and on until you get to 9 raised to power 2, which is 81. And so this is list comprehension, very concise way of creating a list. It could expand more than this. You could do range of 1000, you could do range of whichever range you want to have. We'll put in a practical example, and in the example we're going to be listing names of students, list of student names, and we'll see how we can apply the list in generating this. Let's go over to our environment where we've been working before now. I've gone on to write all of the script just to save us some time, but I'm going to be explaining that and be running it here as well. We have student. We have Alice, Bob, Charlie, and David. We're going to be printing the student To print this, we have another one to say I can append, do an appending to the list. I'm going to append Eve. Append is going to add a name to the last item, and I can also remove Charlie if I want, and it's going to take it out. To make it easier for us to flow, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this out. I'm just going to Command Exit. I take that one out and I'll run this. When I run this, it gives me all of the list students that I have within my list, or the items in the list. If I include this and take out the last one, it's going to add Eve. Eve has been added to my list, and I'm going to take out Charlie. And if I take out Charlie from the list, it returns the final list, which is this. So you could see how you could perform the different operations of addition and removal from a list. In our second example, we'll be finding the largest and smallest numbers. How do we do this using a list? I have the already written out, finding the largest and smallest number. Here I'm going to be using an input. Just allow the user to input the numbers that they want to have, and you could provide a list of numbers. You can say enter numbers separated by spaces, just trying to give the user an instruction what the user has to do. And when we are done with that, we're going to use split. Split is going to put it into a list, and from the numbers we are now going to put our for loop to say the numbers provided for num in numbers for each item in this particular list. You are going to have it into a new list. You convert all of them into an integer, and it's going to be returned in a new list called numbers. For the largest, I'm going to call it maximum, and for the smallest, I'm going to call it the minimum. We can print that. Let me run this. If I run this, it asks me for the list of numbers that I want. I could just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it gives me the maximum number, which is 6, and it gives me the smallest number, which is 1. So let's perform an exercise. Let's just write something from the scratch. And we're going to write a Python script that takes a list of 2 words from the user. The user is going to provide 2 words. It's going to sort the list in alphabetical order and print the sorted list. Let's see how we can get that done. I'm going to head over to my environment. So to start with, we're just going to comment here and say, taking a list of words from the user. And I'm going to have here words. The words are going to be an input, and I'm going to tell the user enter words separated by spaces, and I'm going to split up those words. Now, so after splitting up the words, I'm going to sort that list. Call this sorting the list. Words dot sort. I will now display the sorted list. In doing this, I'm going to print. Call this sorted words. It's going to be words. Let's run this. Call this bag, egg, cherry, cart, bike, and this has sorted this in alphabetical order. And you can see that I was able to allow the user to input all of the words and sort the words, and after sorting the words, I display the words and by using the print function. And this brings us to the end of day 4, and you've seen how to use list, what you could do with list, and how you can play around that. In day 5, which is going to be the next episode, we'll be looking at another data structure. I'll leave you to guess that out. You could try this, try it on your own, play around with it, do something more fun, and let me know in the comment section how that goes for you. I'm going to see you in my next video. Please like and subscribe so that others can have access to this and also learn just like you. See you in my next video. Bye-bye.